Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to my comfy, cozy community show. Oh, hello. So it's been about a week. Today's technically Monday, although Monday is really just a state of being, right? We're not actually on a Monday because Monday was President's Day, and I'm like, I don't have time to make an extra video. I'm just going to record or edit what I put up, and that's fine. There were words in there, I'm sure. But anyway, so far, the question of the day today, what was one of your favorite childhood games that you played? One of the fun little things that you and your friends got together and played together. And of course, I come from an era when I was a child when we didn't have the internet or as many video games available to us, although some of us did have video games and some of us did play them. But you know what I mean. Playground games, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. You know, you've seen the show. You know what I'm talking about. Because today we're going to be talking about something special. All right. So first of all, let's move on to comments. Comment section. Comments. We had one actually. Discounting my bud, Bubble Ninja, commenting on a few of my videos, talking about RE1 and RE5. We had a person, your daily hope and encouragement. Sounds like a wonderful channel. I haven't checked them out yet, but it was a nice comment. It was left on a video I made a while back regarding, hey there, YouTube just recommended your video, and I really enjoyed watching it. I'd like to say that we should never kill the child in us because that's what keeps us creative and gives us hope, and the world isn't that bad. There's hope that the world isn't that bad. Just like I talk about in my channel. They're obviously promoting their channel. It's fine. I love the topics you covered, and I'll be liking and subscribing. Now, I did have to let them know that this is not a philosophy channel. I just occasionally talk about philosophy. And this one was on that video I made about, childhood magic and belief in magic and growth and stuff. I had to warn them that this is a gaming channel and not a philosophy channel. But it was still a good little comment that we got there. And I like that. Because, hey. Cool. They enjoyed the topic, and that's what's important. Anyway, so for today, yes, I'm stealing another freaking topic from the boys over on Distractable. What they did was Squid Games as well. But they did an episode called Squid Games 2, where they talked about what sort of childhood games we would have in a version of Squid Games. Now, of course, they were approaching this one from the position of one of them not actually knowing how things went. And all that stuff. But at the same time, I want to think about some of the ones that I played as a child. Now, I played a few things. Obviously, we had games of kickball and whatnot. We also had soccer, where I lost a pair of glasses because I got hit in the face with a soccer ball. That was amazing. I loved it because it didn't go in the goal. I was like, I saved it. But we had a few other games. Now, they talked about a game called Quarters. Or what they called it was Bloody Knuckles. But we had a different form of Bloody Knuckles. And the Quarters game, I remember the Quarters game. We played that one. And that was a fun one. Where you put the quarter on the thing and you flick it towards their knuckles. And then they have their knuckles on the table. And it hits the knuckle right there. So it's like... It's hard to demonstrate from above. But essentially it's like you take your quarter. That's a nickel. But you take your quarter. You put it down on the table. And you... click it, and you slide it across the table as hard as you can into the waiting knuckles. Right there. Now, what we had as a game of Bloody Knuckles was a little bit different. Now, I'm going to tell you that this one wouldn't necessarily work as a game within Squid Games, but what we did was we would put our knuckles together, and one person would go, and they'd just do that, while the other person had to dodge. And if they dodged, then it became this person's turn. So he'd go, ow, and you'd have to hit that. And you'd keep going until one person's knuckles were bloody. Now, the reason this wouldn't work in a Squid Game setting is because there is no way that everybody can win. Now, I will remind people that in the Squid Game show, they did have a game that literally cut the population in half. They had the marbles game, where everyone had to play, and the loser got shot. So it was ultimately somebody's gonna have to die. But that wasn't until the end of the game. So obviously you can't play this. But we did have another one where you could keep going. technically, we had this game. Now, it was in Spanish. One second while I make sure this isn't an inappropriate word. Essentially, that's what we would call it. And the aim of the game was to get your opponent to give up. Now, if you set this one to a timer and had two people going against each other, and what it was you would come up, you would just pop them right in the shoulder. And of course, you go throughout this pop, just pop, and then the next person goes pop to you, and you keep punching until you give up. Now, the end goal of this is to survive to the end of the timer, obviously, because if you fall down or give up, bam, you're not going to make it to the next round. Sorry about that, brother. But yeah, that's a good way to make that one into a thing. And now, essentially, it's along the same vein as Bloody Knuckles was, but in this way, there's still a chance, set the timer. I guess technically you could have the Bloody Knuckles just go until the timer ends rather than until the first person bleeds, which, fun. Yes, I know. We played some violent games as kids. Shut up. I know these things. It was funny because when I was thinking about the topic for this show, I was thinking about a lot of things that we played that were... a lot of the things that we played were pretty rough and tumble, but then we played some games that were like Team 1 against Team 2. It's like we're playing Zombie Apocalypse or something, Cops and Robbers or something like that. And it's like that one has a clearly defined set of winners and losers. But at the same time, do we give the contestants like real guns and say, okay, y'all are cops and robbers now. Robbers have to defend from the cops have to defend from the robbers. And that sort of idea could play out kind of effectively as well. Set a goal like, the robbers have these many hostages and the cops are supposed to break in and rescue the hostages or something like that. We could play a game like that because we definitely played games like that as a kid if you could get enough kids together to play. Otherwise... Hello. Hey, Johnny, can I talk to your manager? Hey, buddy, can I talk to your manager? I asked you a question. Can I talk to your manager? I asked you a question. Can I talk to your manager? I asked you a question. Let me talk to your manager. Finally, good Lord. Anyway, like I was saying, I set up a game to do cops and robbers, and that sort of thing would be fun, too. Another one I was thinking of, moving away from the slightly violent and bloody ones, which were, okay, end in extreme sadness and whatnot. We had a game called Horse. Now, anyone who's ever played basketball or played on the playground would know that Horse was a fun little game. You as a person, you as a individual would make a shot, and then the next person would have to make the same shot. And if they missed it, they gained a letter. And anyone who got to the full word of horse loses. And so you could get increasingly difficult and specific and difficult shots and spectacular shots. That's the word I was looking for. Different and spectacular shots, and you could get some really cool, fun things going on. But then if the person gets the horse, bam! They've been shot, buddy. They've been shot. They ain't gonna make it. And it's really sad. But, that way, there's still a chance you can win. And if you get to the end and both people have made it to the end of the timer, like say given an hour or something, that way if you start to get exhausted, you can fall down and get shot and, add little other ways to eliminate players and whatnot and that sort of thing. And this is actually funny enough, going back to the boys talking about this show. Unfortunately, Wade had never seen the show, so it was like... He was going into it with the idea that it seemed like the end goal was to kill everybody, which technically, no. We needed one person to survive. And that's why I like the idea of the musical chairs thing. Now, the unfortunate part is, with that one, is musical chairs automatically, every round, eliminates at least one person. And you could have it set up so that you have, like, just enough chairs for everybody in the first round. And then after that, just start dropping like 5 chairs drop out, 6 chairs drop out, 10 chairs drop out, until you're left with just 20 chairs. And as long as everyone is on a chair at the end of the game, they can survive. So you can add that level to it, and you'll have people fighting over chairs. You'll have people standing on other people to get into the chairs so that they won't be, oh, we're going to die today, and that sort of thing. And I was thinking that'd be fun. You can actually make that. And I know they were doing it with the floor drops out, so you have to be on the chair, otherwise the floor drop out. And I was thinking you could have that sort of thing also playing in maybe like the same way they did the red light green light game, where everybody's like, oh my god, run to the chair, and if they didn't make it to the chair before the song stopped, then fun. What other games? There was Duck Duck Goose, which is a fun one. That one was where you get all your friends to sit in a circle, and then one person is like duck, 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 and then they get to a person and they're like goose, and then the goose has to get up and chase them around the circle, and the guy has to go all the way back around to the circle and sit down before the goose catches him. And if the goose catches him, bam! You've been shot, buddy. You didn't make it. That's unfortunate for you, but you didn't make it. Man, I tell you what, thinking about fun childhood games and attaching the sinister aspect of like you're gonna die at the end of it, it's kind of fun, I'm kidding. It's actually kind of tragic. I don't like the idea of making these games murderous. Of course, we can always have, like, they were talking about certain things, like they were talking about how they could make video games in the same vein, and I was like, yes, but also there are so many good options to do with video games. You have things like Mario Kart, and the guy who comes in last place is the one who doesn't make it to the next level. And Mario Party, Mario Kart, stuff like that. I know when I was a kid, we had a game called the Caveman Games, where you had to do a whole bunch of different things, like lighting a fire and chucking your spouse and jousting on dinosaurs and whatnot. And that can make for a fun little round-based tournament game, too. Like, if you make it to the end, here we go. I could actually see, now that I'm thinking about it, I could actually see the turning the Bloody Knuckles game into the final match of the game, like you versus the last person alive. You and the other person are alive, and so it's like the last person, so it's like just the two of you. Just keep punching. If you quit punching, then I'm sorry, but you're gonna die. If you quit punching, you're gonna die. And so like they have to keep going. And it's like, don't lose. If the person misses, and you're the victor, and you're like, whoa, I did it. Of course, there was a lot of fun games in the actual main Squid Games game show, not the game show, the show that I liked, which was like the tug of war and whatnot. And I like that whole jumping across the thing. But like, if you could imagine doing, like, if that was supposed to be hopscotch, which we have, I have played before. You get the rock, you toss it into the thing, and I know the boys talked about hopscotch as well. But like, you throw it into the thing, and the actual thing like pops down, or you get a jet of flame or something. Shut up, phone. Or you get a jet of flame popping out, stuff like that. Just little dangers and hazards and stuff. But you still have to be able to come out on the other end of it. But anyway, that was fun. Apart from all that, that's all for my topic for today. I did have a few fun announcements. Specifically, Babbling Beards is coming back. Unfortunately, or not unfortunately, fortunately, it's going to be on this channel and on Bubble Ninja's channel. On my channel, it's going to be an edited version, so it's going to be streamlined, cut out fluff and some other stuff. And then on his channel, it's going to be live streamed, so it's going to be, what do you call it? It's going to be unedited and live. So if you want to catch us over there when we're live streaming together, I'll be over there doing that, and also the edited version will be uploaded here. I haven't picked a day yet, though. Might do Fridays, that could be fun. I have the first episode, and I'm working on editing it. Apart from that, Bubble Ninja and I know I said I was done with Resident Evil 5, but Bubble Ninja and I are planning on duoing that game at some point, and that'll be great. I feel like it could be a lot more fun with the two of us involved, rather than just me, loafing around and hating life in it. But yeah, apart from that, started Resident Evil Revelations 2. Having a lot of fun with it, actually. I gotta say, I am surprised with how much fun that game is. It actually feels like a real return to form for Resident Evil, and I like it. It's exciting and fun, and I can't wait to share more of that with you. Apart from that, we're also looking forward to Final Fantasy VII. The second demo is supposed to be coming out if it's not out already, and I'm looking forward to playing that one. And yeah, that's it. That's all the topics. That's all the announcements, the topic, everything, all for today. Thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of the community show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you do, poke that like button for me. If you'd like to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you're more than welcome to leave a comment in the comment section down below. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. When I can, if I can, you know all that jazz. And tune in next time as we talk about another topic at a time. And until then,